What is up, everyone? We are back again with another potential banger for the Scaranoia podcast. Our summer break is over. You're getting weekly uploads for the rest of the year. We are revamping View Count. You're gonna see so much more stuff come out. You've already seen some stuff come out, but this is Scaranoia, which we will be dropping every single week. Chris, are you excited to be back?
I'm excited, man, but I feel like the break was definitely needed. We were posting so many times a week, and we're still going to be posting, but we needed that little recharge, refresh, especially with the summer going on. So yeah, I'm
Before
definitely
we get
stoked for
into it,
that.
I will go over our YouTube schedule. On Mondays, we will have red carpets and ring lights. That will be on the View Count channel every single Monday. Nothing on Tuesday. Wednesday, me and Tyler and Shane will be doing the Red Zone Rundown, also on the View Count channel. Thursday, we'll have a weekly ranking tier list. It could be across the Heel Club channel, this channel, or Red Carpet, or the View Count channel. I mean, not Red Carpets and ring lights, on View Count, but across one of them three channels. Fridays, we have the Scaranoia podcast. Saturdays, we have Pro Wrestling Sim, some type of Pro Wrestling Sim video. What, who knows what it's going to be? That will be on the Heel Club channel, as well as Sunday will be the Heel Club podcast. We'll also have monthly videos. Me and Chris do these wrestling prediction things. We're going to have some movie drafts, some fun little content coming to each of our channels. So make sure you lock in with view count. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe to all of our channels. They'll all be listed in the comments below. But let's talk about what today's episode is. I know we're more than halfway through the year, but before we get to October and before we get to some of these big releases at the end of the year, I figured it'd be a good time to reflect on 2025 as a whole. I think it's been a pretty decent year for horror movies, honestly. We've seen quite a few bangers, but we've seen some bad as well. So before we get into really talking about some of the movies coming out, Chris, what is your most anticipated movie for the rest of the year?
Most anticipated to still to come. Oh man, honestly, I don't know if I have one. I haven't seen too many previews. I think for me, it would have to. Does Black Phone 2 come out this year?
Yeah.
I would say that just because I was such a huge fan of Black Phone. I'm curious as to see how the direction they take it in with, the so many years in between. Finney is obviously like older now. I feel like you're running into that problem like you had with It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, but I don't think he's meant to stay the same age. So I don't know. I was at the movies watching Weapons, and that preview came on, and I'm not kidding. I plugged my ears, closed my eyes, and hummed a little tune because I didn't want to hear anything about it.
Yeah, I'm not watching any trailer on it. It's not one of my most anticipated. I have three for my most anticipated for the rest of the year. Number one is him. Super excited for him. Love Jordan Peele. It's gonna be fucking fantastic. Second is Dream Eater from Eli Roth. Super fucking hyped for that. It's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be disgusting. And then I'm also excited for a trailer that I recently watched. Good Boy. It's about a dog who it's from a dog's perspective where he watches his human be haunted by ghosts and shit. I've heard so many good things about it. And I'm not this ain't a shout out to Chuck, but Chuck I seen it Chuck talking about it. That's the first place I heard about it. Um yeah, it's my top three for the rest of the year. But let's go ahead and get into some of these 2025 or maybe some of these Chris have not seen, so he really won't have anything to say about it. I want to start at the bottom. We'll start from some of the worst movies to the good. Say the best for last. Some of the worst movies this year, and I'm not indulging on any of these because they don't deserve any indulging. Hurry Up Tomorrow is one of the biggest atrocities of all time. Bambi the Reckoning was ass. Mouse of Wars was ass. Into the Deep, Wolfman, Bayou, Bystanders, Haunting of Hollywood, Until Dawn, Death of a Unicorn, and then we'll get into our first one that we are going to be discussing is Dark Match. I thought Dark Match was okay. It's not one of my favorites, but it's not one of my least favorites. Um, as a wrestling fan, I enjoyed it, but I feel like if you're not a wrestling fan, you're not going to enjoy it. And that ending was ass.
That's what fucked it up for me. Like honestly, I bought into the story. I love the effects. I love the wrestling. I loved everything up until the ending, and the ending was so bad that it ruined the movie for me. And I hate it because I was locked in, like a little bit of a slow build at first, but then it just fucking took off. And then all of a sudden that ending, and I'm like, bro, you had me, and then you lost me.
And there will be some spoilers for some of these other movies later, so we'll warn you before we talk about spoilers. Really, the only spoilers we're going to be talking about is really weapons, sinners, bring her back, Final Destination, Bloodlines. So that'll be ones that we talk about later. But I do want to speak on Megan 2 is the next movie I want to be talking about. I know you haven't seen it, but it was ass. It
I
was
haven't even
pretty.
seen Megan one.
The fact that it went straight action was ridiculous, and that's why it flopped at the box office. Next, we got Dangerous Animals. It was all right. It was a decent shark movie. Nothing to write home about. Sweet Revenge was a Jason short that came out recently, sponsored by Angry Orchard. Chris, you drink Angry Orchard, don't you?
I do.
Dude, if you find the
The Angry
Jason ones,
Orchard.
if you find the Jason Angry Orchard and you get them, send me a can.
I got you. I got you.
But it was okay. Then we're going to talk about the monkey. It was so disappointing. I had very high hopes for it, and it did not. It was not a bad movie per se, but I expected more. Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare was decent. Clown in the Cornfield Jurassic Rebirth 28 years later was decent as well. But 2025 has been okay. We'll get to some of these good ones here. Chris, what is your favorite 2025 movie as I get my list ready here?
Oh, see, that's tough because I feel like I have like how do I explain it? I've got my top three, but I put them all in the one category for different reasons, right?
For sure.
And since we're going to be talking more about them later, but I'm just going to list them, and then when we talk about them, I'll explain why.
Yeah,
It
mine's a little
has to be
different. You have a top three, don't you? I have a top 10 because,
well,
I
yeah,
got
I'm
to.
saying like my top. I'm saying like my top. Like these three could all compete for one in their own nature, you know. And I'm talking sinners, weapons, and bring her back. And yeah, we'll talk about that.
Some other movies I want to touch on before I get to my top 10 for the year so far. Hell of a Summer. I enjoyed it quite a lot. It was a fun summer camp slasher. Um, Slasher is a broad term to use for it, but it was a lot of fun. Chris, we need to watch it. I think you'd like it.
For
Fear
sure.
Street Prom Queen, which Chris will be able to indulge on this one a little bit. I was disappointed by it a little bit, honestly. I recently rewatched it a couple weeks ago, and it's nowhere near as good as the original trilogy. There's some good
Yeah,
gore in it, but just
the
wasn't.
gore was. Yeah, I was gonna say the gore was the best part about it, but other than that, plot lost me, acting lost me. I would have put that in the dud category.
And my last three before I get to my top 10 together. The body horror aspect was good, but another movie that I just left the theater very disappointed in after hearing all this. I know what you did last summer remake. It's getting way too much hate. It is so enjoyable. It's so fun. One of the most insane twists I have ever seen in a horror movie, honestly. Fantastic. And then my number 11, it needs to be mentioned. It Feeds goes super fucking hard, but it just barely missed out on my top 10 list for 2025 so far. But I am going to get in my top 10 here, and if
So
Chris has seen the movie, we will discuss it. Okay, at my number 10 spot is Screamboat. Screamboat Willie. I was blown away. I think I was watching it in VC with you in our Discord
probably
server, if
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
mistaken. I
Join the
hate,
server.
yeah, 95% of these like childhood horror movies, like the Winnie the Pooh, Bambi, all that shit is normally ass. But this one was so much fun. Like, I had like so many great kills. Like, David Howard Thornton is fantastic. He plays a little mouse. Just his mannerisms and everything is unmatched. At number nine is The Home. It's a Pete Davidson movie. This movie starts out really slow. I hated the first half. But that middle half to the end, it goes into absolute madness. It's that shit insane. One of my favorite movies of the year. At number 8, we have Companion, which you need to watch, Chris, by the way. Absolutely fantastic. It's everything that Megan should be and more. Companion's fantastic. Go seek it out. I believe it's on Peacock or Max, one of the two. Definitely go watch it. But next, we'll be able to talk about this one. At number 7, I have Horror Eyes. I love whodunit slashers. That's my favorite subgenre of like horror
Yeah.
at all. Like Scream, I know what you're gonna say. Like all them types of like whodunit horror is fantastic, and Horde Eyes was amazing. Like the acting, cinematography, everything about Horde Eyes was fantastic in my opinion.
Like, I feel like the whole area of like romance and horror, you know what I mean? Like, it's either overly sexualized or just boring and bland. And Hard Eyes was a perfect blend of that, of the romance, the horror, the whodunit aspect. You think you have it figured out, then you don't, and then you're back to jumping around trying to figure out. But I feel like there was one point where like I had that inkling, and I was like, I feel like it's this guy, but it's most likely not going to be. Turned out to be, and I was like, that was super dope, you know. But it kept you intrigued the whole time, kept me on the edge of my seat. Just everything about it was a great movie.
Next, another surprise at my number 6 spot is Drop. I heard a lot of shit. Like I heard this movie was ass. I hate Blumhouse, and it's a Blumhouse Productions, but it was fantastic, man. It had me on the edge of my seat. From the very beginning. I was trying to guess what was going on, and then whenever I found out what was going on, I didn't see it coming. I love Drop again. Another movie that has great acting. That's something with horror this year. Is that the acting in horror movies this year has been top notch. I really feel like horror is going to have such a big uh presence at the Oscars this year because like
Hmm.
I don't know what's happened. Used to like horror movies was just all about the kills and all that shit, but the stories and
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
lately, horror's going in a different direction, and it's starting to become more. It's not becoming as niche as it used to be, in my opinion,
yeah,
and I think
exactly. It's
Drops a big is a big part of that.
I feel like they're definitely broadening it to make it more enjoyable for not just your casual horror fan, but people who are into like different, variations of it, whether it be supernatural, psychological, thriller, like stuff like that, and there's going to be I feel like there's definitely something for everybody. And so, like psychological to me is one of the best that I always recommend to people because psychological horrors aren't always focused on the kills or the gore, like that. It's the ones that fuck with your mind, like Get Out. You know, great fucking movie. Do you see a lot of kills in there? No, but you see some craziness happening. That's the one I always recommend to people.
And now we're at my top 5. It's another movie that we can both touch on here. At number 5 is Final Destination Bloodlines. This movie was just so much fun, man. Like, was it the greatest movie of the year? No. But are you gonna have more fun? Hardly at all. Besides one movie, there was no other movie this year that I had so much fun with. Final Destination Bloodlines was a fucking blast. Like the soundtrack kicked ass. I think that was a big part of it. Soundtrack was amazing. I love the story. There were some characters I
Mhm.
didn't give a fuck about, but
Yeah,
the death scenes were fantastic, and it's some of the best of the franchise. Especially that
yeah.
MIR. Spoiler alert: that MIR
MRI.
MRI. Fuck, I can't talk. The MRI scene. Holy fucking shit. That was amazing.
Yeah, no, for me, I was very hesitant going into this because I'm such a huge fan of the Final Destination series that like I wasn't sure if they were gonna still be able to create these unique and interesting, elaborate, fucking rigged up like kills that they normally do. And that they didn't disappoint. They didn't disappoint. I always pay attention to the openings and how it goes from there. And the fact, again, all spoilers, the fact that the opening for this took place in the past, you know what I mean? And it's, you're expecting somebody to wake up and shake the whole thing up and prevent it, and then you realize like, oh no, it's the granddaughter of the girl she's been having the dream about, and the whole journey that she took reconnecting with her family, meeting her grandma, like all the whole story. It was there wasn't really many dull moments. I agree. There's definitely characters I didn't give a damn about, but like overall, the kills, the acting, the score, like
That Tony Todd scene
phenomenal.
too was fantastic, bro.
Dude, that Tony Todd scene made me tear up, bro. Especially
Same.
reading it like after and finding out that they were like, "Yo, you can riff. This is your like." Tony Todd and the directors all knew it was his last movie. They knew he had been ill. They opted him to like not, do it, but he wanted it to be his last movie. So and that little final line about like live your lives because you never know, enjoy it because you never know when your last day is gonna come, and knowing, oh man,
It was like
that was
he was saying
emotional.
goodbye. He's saying
Yeah,
goodbye, you know,
he
because he
was
was
saying
looking at
goodbye to the
directly at the
fans.
camera. It was more like, if you not,
Yeah,
it wasn't like part of the movie. Really. It was more just saying,
exactly,
you know, it wasn't William Bloodworth. It was Tony Todd. You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah.
But Final Destination
But I
4.
also, real quick, I do like how they tied him into the whole thing. Like he was the kid, and this was like the very first time it happened, kind of deal. And like that, I loved it because he was such a pivotal role in the movies that he was in and stuff. That was pretty much death. So like him being tied in, like them wrapping it up, I feel like that should be where it ends. But apparently, people are talking about there's another one already
Oh yeah,
confirmed.
yeah, it's already confirmed. It's the highest grossing Final Destination movie. It made so much money. 100%. I'm gonna get a sequel, which I'm excited for. Give me more. Give me 100 of these. If we have fun death sequences, give me 100 of them. My
Agreed.
number 4 is a movie you have probably never heard of, but talk about, and I want you to watch it. I can't wait till it comes to VOD so we can be orgs, mateys, and have you watch this movie. Jimmy and Sticks, baby. Holy fucking shit. This was right up my alley. I knew as soon as I heard about it, I was like, yeah, I'm going to watch this. It was a Phasm event. I don't care if I paid $21 to go see it. It was fantastic, brother. Disgusting, vomit inducing gore. Like the aesthetic, just this neon splatter punk, just fantastic. And shout out to Joe Bagos, bro. Motherfucker shot this doing COVID in his apartment. He done his own stunt work. He done all the editing. He done practical effects. He done everything. Like they got a cool behind the scenes thing after the credits roll, and it made me appreciate it even more. But it's so fun. Like, oh my god, the story wasn't there. It was an okay story, but you go for this just drug fueled fun. It felt like I just dropped like 20 drops of acid. Like that would be a movie that would be fucking fantastic on like Brooms or some shit to watch. Like 100%. Jimmy and Stiggs, if it's still showing, go support independent film. Like, there's these other creators on here who would tell you to go watch these stupid movies that they're paid for. I've never been paid for a review. I'm not one of these horror talk cult members. Go watch Jimmy and Stiggs. It's fantastic, brother. Like,
Gary
we
does,
thought,
in fact, turn down money for
uh,
reviews, and he
yeah,
reviews it for the love of the game.
yeah,
I just want to point that out there.
I would never ever take money for a review. I will review a movie though. But like, if you have a movie you want me to review, like if you're a studio, whatever, reach out to me. I will review it, but I'm always honest. Like, and I won't bullshit say, "Oh, it's bad," just to sound different. Like, because
Just to be contrarian, yeah.
before we get to our next one here, we'll talk about that when we get to weapons. At number 3 is Sinners. I thought this movie wouldn't be topped, but there's two movies that topped it. Sinners is fantastic. It's gonna be a game changer for horror, in my opinion. It's gonna be nominated for so many Oscars. That soundtrack's amazing, the story's amazing, the message is amazing. Everything about this movie is absolutely perfect. Like, I love Sinners so much. Chris, how do you feel about Sinners?
If you hold on 1 second, my shit is glitching. 1 second.
Well, we are having technical difficulties here on the Scaranoia podcast. Maybe
But
more talk. War Talk's coming for Chris. We talked about War Talk, and
Appa
now they're coming.
apparently, like, what the hell? Because you froze for, like, 10 seconds while you were talking about Sinners, so I don't know if I looked confused. I might have. But, um,
You look
I'll
fine on my end.
alright, well, we're back to it. That's why I was like, "Hello?" But we're back to it. Sinners, I absolutely loved. I'm a big Michael B. Jordan fan, um, and his acting has always been authentic and just so good. And the fact that this man was able to believably play two different characters in a movie that were interacting with each other, that had dialogue, that like it just I really believed he was two different people in this movie. This man, if there was any awards given for best acting, he should get two. Like he should win one for each of those characters. He was so good, and honestly, that's one of those like I'm not huge into like the vampire movies because I
I
feel
love
like
them.
so many. I feel like so many of them are way like overdone or just campy. Um, but I'm a big Lost Boys fan. I love Lost Boys. That's one of my favorites of all time. But this one was done to perfection. Soundtrack, acting, effects, set design, everything was top tier. And I agree. I didn't think this movie would be topped, but spoiler alert, it was.
So I want to save weapons for last. It is my number two. But just because we're going to be talking about spoilers about weapons, we're going to be talking about Bring Her Back, which is my number one. I know we're being weird. I'm talking about my number one, then my number two, but we're saving the weapon spoiler talk for last. Number one is Bring Her Back. Just the absolute insanity, the acting, the I saw it in theaters, so the cinematography, it felt like you was immersed in this world. So I saw it for DX and whatever it's called. Bring Her Back, fantastic. Like it might be a top 10 movie all time for me, low key. Both watches have been amazing. I love Bring Her Back. Chris, what were your thoughts on Bring Her Back?
Oh my fucking god. First off, I hate you for making me watch this movie.
How?
Just it in the best way possible. It was a phenomenal movie, but Jesus fucking Christ, it was just insane. It was like the acting was great. Finding out that that little girl that was her first ever acting role. Like that was crazy cuz she did so good. The the scenes like just oh man, like there's one that still haunts me and it was the knife scene when the kids
Hell yeah.
oh, I just got shivers talking about it. Everything about look, it's one of those I will never watch again. But not because it was bad. It's because it was so good, it freaked me the fuck out. And that there's not too many that are like that, but this is one of those. It was phenomenal from the acting, the scenery, the set designs, the just everything. Like everything came together in just a perfectly horrifying like once in a lifetime almost things. Like I just feel like you can't. It's hard to top something like that and have it be like just I don't know. It's like lightning in a bottle. Like like I'm not saying like there'll never be another one, but like for right now for this year, yeah, I would give that. That's what I'm saying. I have number ones for each of these, and that is
This
in
year's
that
been about
category.
original horror movies. Like,
Yeah,
besides Final Destination Bloodlines, my top five are all original horror movies, no sequels, nothing like that. Pretty much my top 10 is all original horror.
yeah.
We're moving
Um,
away from sequels and stuff, in my opinion.
Which I think is good. It's important, because there's so many times where I feel like you have this great movie and then you make a sequel because the movie was so great and the response was so great that the sequel doesn't live up to the hype and it just dilutes the franchise, like it's hard to make a sequel that outshines because your whole goal should always be to outshine the previous one. I feel like a perfect example of that, right? The Terrifier films. First one first one was good, like but the second one just took it to a whole other level, and then the third one just shot them both out of the water. Like at least that's my opinion. But I feel like Terrifier is a perfect example of what you should do with the sequel. You should always be elevating the product. Bring Her Back. I don't know if there's a setup for a sequel in this one. It's a one and done, you know? It's a one and done. But there are some movies I would love to see sequels of, and we could talk about that another time. Sequels that need to be made. That's a great episode.
And talking about vampires real quick before we get to one of the weapons. You wanna know who I think would play a good vampire? Dave Bautista. Don't forget, Chris, by the time this video is out, there better be a Batista WWE entrance on your TikTok. I'm underscore just underscore Chris 91.
We're working on that. We're working on that.
See weapons, doo doo. But now we're going to say, if you have not seen weapons, click off this video. We're going to be delving into pretty heavy spoiler talk. And yeah, if you haven't watched it, we'll catch you next week. If you don't care, here we go. Chris, thoughts on weapons?
I fucking I God, I don't even know how to describe it because I watched it in theaters, you know, and it's been so long since I've watched like a movie like that in theaters that like getting that experience, you know, I was one of 6 people in that theater and I
I
was
was
like,
like
why
one
is
of
there
like
not more?
60.
Well, you went opening night, you know.
I
I
did.
went
I
like
went
2 days
literally
ago.
opening night.
I went
Literally
I went
opening
2
night.
days ago. I literally went 2 days ago, so I think the hype had died down. But just the twists and turns it takes you, everything was great. I love that we didn't focus on one linear story. We got perspectives from each character during this sequence, all leading up to the main part. And the nice thing about that was that it all fed into each other about how they acted with each other. But you didn't have to go through all of it again, right? Like when a midpoint example would be the cop and the meth head, right? You see the cop and all his interactions, but you didn't have to when it jumped over to the drug addict, you didn't have to see those interactions again. You got the Cliff Note version in between, which I loved. And everything tying together at the end. Oh, God. The jump scares, there were a few, there was only a few, right? They were still pretty good. They were still pretty good. And I feel like each time it got better for me. Like the bedroom scene freaked me the fuck out, dog. When he fucking rolled over, it's Gladys. I was like, um, there's so much good I could say about this movie. If I have to pick one, I would pick this. There was stuff I was confused on, I'm not gonna lie, but we could talk about that in a second. Um, there's so much I could say, but I'm gonna let you go so I don't hog all the time.
So my thoughts on it was I really enjoyed it. Like I thought it was great. The runtime was a little bit iffy for me going in, but I thought they'd done the runtime to perfection. Also, again, loved
Yep.
how they've done the linear storytelling. Also, my biggest nitpick was the witch bullshit. I hate witch stuff, man. Like, it's the only thing holding it back from number one. I hate witch stuff. Like, but Aunt Gladys was fucking, oh, dude, she's creepy. Super excited for the prequel we're getting about her. Apparently, that's the rumor right now.
We're
Yeah,
getting up. Oh,
yeah, we're getting a prequel because this
'cause
movie's making a
I
shit ton of
I
money.
was gonna, I was gonna say they definitely. I feel like they definitely set it up for a sequel as well, though.
Yeah,
Like you could
kind of.
100% build off of you could build off of that, dude, whether it's cuz like they said like, the parents weren't still talking. Some
And
of
the
the
kids.
kids were able to like they were and they weren't. We get an update on believes in Alex, we get an update on him kind of deal, like so much. One thing I didn't like, there was one thing I didn't like, and I'll say this, right? When um Josh Brolin's character, I forgot his name, um the father, he was, he had that dream where he's following his child, through the area and it leads back to his house. And then it had the weapon up there. I still don't get I get it was called weapons. and it was about weaponizing. He made that comment about weaponizing them. But I thought that was dumb because it had like the time on it that they all ran out to 2:17. But I'm like, what was the point of that? Like,
Yeah, I didn't really,
it,
I didn't really get that part out of the key.
that was just the one thing I was like, it's stupid placement. But the movie made up for it. Agree. The Gladys character, great. Alex, the little kid, bro, for a child to have that emotional range of acting, like dog,
I wish
like
we followed him more than Julie Gardner's character. 'Cause I did not give a fuck about her.
yeah, I get that.
The teacher, she's
Yeah,
hot, but I didn't give a fuck about her, dude.
I feel like we had too much of her for sure.
Exactly.
Like if I'm correct, she had the longest out of all of them.
Yeah.
But like definitely parts were not needed. We could have spent that time more on Alex's stuff. The effects I thought were great. Um, Not a lot of kills, like there wasn't a lot of
Didn't
kills
need
in
to
this
be, though.
movie. Exactly, yeah, but the ones that were, holy fuck, that kitchen scene where
Dude,
he's
when
just
fucking,
headbutting the dude's face
yeah, when
in.
fucking Wong, I don't know his name on here, but Wong from fucking the MCU fucking just headbutting the motherfucker, bro.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. And then that
Marcus
final
was his
kill scene
name.
when they kill Gladys, like at the end, and they're
Oh, dude,
just
that was so
ripping
good,
her
bro.
face. Holy shit. I still don't know how did the bell get rung. We saw the bell ring, but we didn't get information on how it got rung.
Alex rung it.
Okay. I mean that makes sense.
He rung it in
But
the
like
bedroom where he was rapping the thing from Gladys. Yeah, he rung it.
but yeah, it was
It's pretty good, honestly. Like a little bit
I'm just
disappointed
trying
in
to
it.
process that part because he was rapping the thing, but the final scene was him in the bathroom hiding from his parents. That's why I'm confused because all we saw was him in the bathroom like trying to keep them from getting in and
I
but I
believe he
mean,
rung it.
okay. I mean he's the only one that could. I thought for sure he was going to like dive to ring it and everybody snaps back, but we were going to get like his parents killed him before, which I was like, "Oh damn, that would have been crazy." But we did not
Yeah, I
get
was
that.
hoping we'd see some kids deaths. That's what was missing for me. It'd have been it would have went from a 9.5 to a 10 out at the end. We need to see more kids deaths in horror. Art the Clown, you know what to do in Terrifier 4.
Yeah. Um
And to talk about War Talk for a minute. So we have the good side of War Talk, me, Taylor Complains, Fiery Fire Girl, all them people. Then we had the cult led by Chuck and them, and every one of them hated it. Chuck, Kobe, Ian, all them fucking losers hated it. Slasher Talk.
but hold on. Hold on. Taylor Complains hated it too.
No, he didn't. He
He
loved it.
made a whole he made a video saying that like I don't have to explain why I hate a movie, I just do, and then it was about weapons.
He gave it a
Like
9.5.
I'm okay. You keep talking. I'm gonna go find it right now.
He gave it a 9.5. We talked about it the other day. Because mine and his number one and two are the same. Just go back and now he shit on sinners. That's probably what you think about. But yeah, he gave
I've dated all the internet. Does CGI take you out of? I've been a lot. All the internet's done it again? It made me mad. Or I could just be
No,
upset
that's
because
not it. But yeah,
all the internet's done it again. It made me mad. Or I could just be upset because I had a watery bowel movement that doesn't match the consistency that I usually like and I'm comfortable with. Either way, here comes the app. So Weapons just came out. Some people like it, some people don't, which is totally fine. But here's what pisses me off: you go to your favorite creator who liked a movie that you didn't like, and you go, "Hey,
okay, maybe I misunderstood. Okay, so yeah.
yeah, come on now, dumbass.
It happens, okay?
Do better. But that's why we pass it off to you guys on it. What's your favorite horror movie of 2025? What are you most excited for? What did you hate? I know there's some idiots that said Bambi the Reckoning was good. You're wrong, 100% wrong. If you enjoyed that movie, you're a paid shield. Um, yeah, we're ending it right here. We'll see you next Thursday with movies that should get a sequel. Peace out, guys.